forward, it appears, where the jury has gone into deliberations this morning at about 8:45. I'm live at staytuned.com, and one of the prosecutors just stepped past and is going inside the courtroom. It's a chilly response this morning. When I entered the courtroom, the jury had already gathered and was in the deliberation room.
Oh, no.
There's an update at staytuned.com, which outlines this week's news coverage that's planned. Peter Patakis just exited the courtroom and was talking on his cell phone and is in the stairwell. Patakis presented the defense's case last week. The defense was primarily that Ashley Ford said she didn't do it. She didn't do it, and she didn't do it. And she was the victim of prosecutorial misconduct. Thank you for joining the live Substack. All of you that have joined so far.
I did an interview with Matt?
No, I do not. Elizabeth Baumgartner's here. Wants to know if I want to do an interview with her. Step away, please. Step away. Step away. Elizabeth Baumgartner is suggesting that I'm obsessed with her. She went to prison in, I think, about 2006.
That's what it was about the First Amendment, actually.
And now Peter Patakis is with me.
Peter glorified. Elizabeth Baumgartner did go to prison, and it's one of the most outrageous miscarriages of justice in American legal history. It's too bad that I wasn't a practicing lawyer back then, or that would have never happened. So,
well, thank you, Peter.
Yeah, we will.
Are you going to be appealing Elizabeth's convictions, or is it too late to do that?
One wonders, but that's definitely worth looking into.
Are you going to be looking into that?
It's definitely worth looking into, as well as
have you read the disbarment papers from the Bar Association? What did you think about it? What was the most troubling part of that for you?
The most troubling part is that Elizabeth was targeted for her protected speech and litigating and political and professional activity.
So the protected speech, go ahead and explain that, how that works.
Man, I don't have time to give you a legal lesson now.
But I'm not asking for a legal lesson. As you can see, Peter, there are a number of people in the room right now. There's 13 people in there right now, and I just started. So why don't you speak to them? Why don't you explain the First Amendment?
So the First Amendment prohibits
and how it can be used to make false allegations against people in an attempt to intimidate them. Explain that for me, sir.
Yeah, the First Amendment protects people from retaliation by the government for their speech.
You didn't answer my question. You're changing.
Bike and paddle.
Bike and paddle?
Mm-hmm.
It's a person. It's a person there in the Substack.
I know. Who are they? They seem to have some strong opinions. It's funny when people comment. People don't comment with their own name. They hide behind fake anonymous. Boy, 13. How many people subscribe to Stay Tuned Sandusky?
About 1,500.
About 1,500. Is that real people?
Yeah.
I find that hard to believe.
You do? Well, Peter, come back and let's talk about the First Amendment. Let's talk about the First Amendment, Peter. That was attorney Peter Patakis with his associate, Elizabeth Baumgartner. Wasn't that fun? Wasn't that fun? I got to admit, I give him credit. So what do you think about that? He was suggesting that you're all using fake names, which I found to be extremely interesting, given that Ashley Ford has an army of people with fake names. I believe she's building an army, I should say. She has a really big platform. She often boasts, and she has a lot of influence, which is something to be concerned about. There's reports with the Norwalk police And I've had readers coming forward and being concerned about a continuing vigilantism that's happening locally online. So it is concerning. That was Peter Patakis joined us a few minutes ago and started to explain the First Amendment, but then he stopped. Thank you. Okay. People are leaving the courtroom now. I'm not sure where they're going. That was Ashley Ford and her associates are going into the probate court offices. I've already spoken to the bailiff and was assured that I would be notified when the jury is coming back, and it would be in this courtroom. I think reporter Terry Burton, who was with the inner sanctum of Ashley Ford's defense team inside the courtroom, I think he might still be in the courtroom. I'm outside the courtroom, and we're awaiting a jury's verdict. The jury went into deliberations about 8:45 this morning. Peter Patakis emerged from the courtroom to give me a short lesson about the First Amendment. And when I asked him if the First Amendment includes the right to make false allegations against individuals with the intention to intimidate them, whether that was part of his free speech argument, he declined to answer that question and suggested it was government retaliation that led to this prosecution. That was an argument he tried to present all week last week. And yes, Terry Burton is inside the courtroom, sitting next to the seat that I've been assigned to by the judge. Terry Burton um, has expressed some serious dissatisfaction with my news reporting, and last week he crowded me in that seat. I don't know if he intends to do that this week. He claimed it was his right to sit directly behind me and sit directly next to me. Terry is upset with some of the news coverage that was in StayTunedSandusky.com a couple of weeks ago. Terry is a reporter for the Norwalk Reflector. The Norwalk Reflector and the Sandusky Register have not responded to inquiries about his behavior toward another member of the press inside a courtroom. So I'm concerned about that. And it has been generally a stressful time to be in that courtroom among uh, people like Terry, who are openly hostile, and then everyone else who also is openly hostile. It is 9:17. The jury returned at about 8:45, I believe, and went into deliberations. It's probably the first they've started deliberations because they got the case late on Friday. This is Tuesday. The court was closed on Monday in observance of the national holiday. Does anybody have any questions that they'd like to go over? Joe Baumgartner joined. His wife was here earlier and was seeking an interview with me. I declined to interview Elizabeth because she is a concern. She's accused me of multiple felonies over the years, as she's accused many, many, many people of criminal behavior. So I'm not the first, and I'm not complaining. We're a group of victims, I would say. I would call us. Hi, Joe. How are you? Good to see you, Joe. Do you have any questions? Did you have anything you wanted to say? Joe Baumgartner is Elizabeth Baumgartner's husband, and he's joined the Substack. Way to protect your family, Joe, is one comment made by Pike and Adel. We'll see if we can get a comment from prosecutors after the verdict, but I don't know if we will. The courtroom is, the courthouse is not overly busy this morning, so I'm just waiting to hear word from anyone about where the jury is at in its deliberations. Attorneys gave closing arguments on Friday, which were very diametrically opposed. Kevin Baxter, the Erie County prosecutor, said that Ashley Ford was a cold, cunning, experienced con artist who intentionally used her ex-husband's identity to obtain a COVID relief grant to get $30,000 from the government to pay off her back rent, essentially, in the home she was living at with her new husband, Ezekiel Ford. Ashley Ford testified that her ex-husband was lying and that the notary who said she did not see her ex-husband sign the documents was lying, that she was telling the truth, and that prosecutors and police were all out to get her. Now, whether the jury bought that story, we're going to learn in a little bit. Joe, you're still here. Joe, did you have anything you wanted to say? He needs ask Els if he can talk. Oh, so Joe, are you checking with Elizabeth to see if you can talk? Or I know Elizabeth was here earlier, Joe, and she wanted me to interview her, but I declined. I would rather hear with a long-suffering spouse. Elizabeth went to prison for 5 years, and Joe stuck by his woman, didn't you, Joe? All through that incarceration, and he welcomed her home when she was released. Elizabeth was quiet for about a year, and then she began commenting at the Sandusky Register website, SanduskyRegister.com. She was a frequent commenter. I forget her name. Joe, do you remember the name she used while she was while she was on probation for that first year? There's a whole series of news coverage. Please like, share, subscribe, and comment at the Substack, at Facebook. Right now, here at our live stream, please subscribe. It's only $5 a month. Support local journalism. We are the independent journalists in our community, and we bring you the story. There might be a criminal hearing in the courtroom this morning. I see other attorneys joining in the courtroom now since Ford's team left. Her team includes attorney Peter Patakis, who stopped by briefly here at StayTunedSandusky.com for a short interview. It was really a lecture. He was questioning the use of pseudonyms for names in this live stream, which was pretty ironic given it's a marquee for supporters of Ashley Ford, especially the ones who make threats. There's a news story at the Substack right now. You can go to it. Please like, share, subscribe, and comment. But go to the Substack. There's a news story there about an extortion, what appears to be a Facebook message that was meant to try and extort money from a man who's been accused by relatives of being a rapist. Ashley Ford, after the man refused to pay the $4,000, according to readers, and a police report has some information about this. Ashley Ford posted at her website about the man, and readers contacted me and said he was being inundated with doxing and different bad behavior from supporters of Ashley Ford's who saw those comments. That's a story that's currently under development, but there's an intro story at the Substack right now about that. Other stories we're developing, of course, is the verdict and then some analysis of the verdict after it's given. We hope to get an interview with Kevin Baxter, Erie County Prosecutor Kevin Baxter, when the verdict comes in, but we'll see about that. I'm going to sign off for now. I sure appreciate your time. Hope to see you again soon. Please like, share, subscribe, and comment. This is StayTuned, Sandusky.com. I'm Matt Westerhold.